Good. Okay. So NA means missing values. So in this case, age is made up of 4 values, but 1 is missing. The age of the third person is missing. And I say if you run this, if we run this, we get age and then it appears on the console. So NA is a data type, right? In there. The others are numeric. However, NA is able to coexist with other data types without distorting it in any way. Do you remember that when we added characters and numeric, all of them change to character? So now, even though NA in literally will mean a character, also is able to recognize it in the presence of what? Other characters or vectors. Characters or numeric values. That's what I mean. Or even dates. We also have dates data type, but I'm not going to waste time on it. So I will talk about it once we finish with this. Now, let's look at something. So if I have a missing value and I want to do any computation on it, you have to be careful. You have to omit the missing values. Other than that, you get any. So for example, let's look at this. We want to get the sum of age. In other words, we want to know the age of all these people. What do we get? It's any, not applicable or missing. The reason is simple. You are adding any to other numbers, so it will tell you it's any. Is that okay? So if we want to do this and for us to get the age, the average age, we'll take out the missing value. It means our sample size has reduced to what? 3. It is 4, but 1 is missing. So you won't add it to your computation. So when you take the NA out, you are left with 3 values. So you add those 3 values and divide by what? 3, not 4. Is that okay? Because the 4th value is missing. So let's see, to do this, taking care of NAs, so we will say sum. If you go to sum, let's look at the, sum. Do you see what is here? So by default, we have sum something, NA.rm is equal to false. I have not talked about RM, have I? No, okay, because I use delete. So RM means remove, not my name. Okay, so RM in R says remove, right? So if I come here and remember that when we go to the environment, there's age there, right? Okay. So if I say RM age, it means remove age from my working environment. What do you see? What before then? What there was what age here. As soon as I run RM, what happens? It takes it takes age off. Okay, so if I want age, I have to go back and run this again. So that's just by the okay. So what I mean simply is this. Now when we are doing any computation and there's NA in it, then we have to remove it. So NA.rm will be all true. When it is true, it means remove all missing values, right, in that computation. So what I have to do is to just copy this, paste, and then change let me just copy. So let me make remove age, and let me take it out from here so that it doesn't confuse you. So remove age from what? Work environment. So here, what we need to do is that we have to take out RM. So we have to take out NA, true, right? By default, it is what? False, isn't it? Yeah, if you come here, it's false. So let's run it now. So you see now we get what? The total age. And this total age is the age of all the 3 people. 25 plus 20 plus what? 23. Is that okay? Okay. Let's look at mean, the average. So mean, we can also do the same thing. NA dot remove. Let me first do NA dot. Let me do the first one, which is the default, assuming I did just mean, just like what we did the previous time with this one. What do you think will happen? We will get NA. There it is. Okay. So now if we take out the NA, what will happen? We get our average age. Is that okay? So NA is a missing value, and we should be sure that when we are doing computation and you get NA, it should prompt you that there is a missing value. Is that okay? Because NA cannot be the answer. Can I move on? Any question? Yes. Yes. For this one. Oh no, it is predefined. Yeah, it's predefined in that, so we are not defining it. Yeah. Okay. Let me briefly talk about dates. So date is also, so dates, time, and so forth are also data types recognized by R. So date, time, and so forth. So right now we can get the time and date. Okay, so let's look at it. If we do sys dot date, if I run this, it tells me today is what? It is what? Year, month, and what? Day. Is that okay? All right. I can also do sys.time. Sys.time, even time zone, a whole lot. Oh, what is happening? So sys.time. So that will give me the date, the time, and so forth. But this one is it's not a Ghana time. It's Nigeria. Okay. Okay. Now, so to create a date, as dot date. Okay, yeah. So sys.date format. Okay. So if you look at this, as I said, I'm not going to waste so much time on it. But let me not. Okay, so the date, as I said, is a data type. Okay, now, so when we are treating time series, of course we are not going to teach you time series now, so we won't get there. But when you do your time series in the next semester, you should be in a position to create a time series data. Now, what is good about when you are treating time series is that, remember, in a time series you have time. So let's assume I record, let's say the number of sales at a particular shop on campus, or the number of customers that come there each day if you are managing any place. So let's say if you go to this restaurant, they will keep track of, let's say, how many food they sell or pack they sell in a day. So today, every week they will have 5 days, right? And so unless they do not work. Now, all what we have to do is to get the numbers, that is the daily numbers. The dates, we don't need to be writing the dates every time. Because once I get the starting date and the end date, you remember sequence? You remember sequence? Yeah, so we can sequence from the start date to the end date in steps, either in weekdays or daily or monthly and so forth. And that will give us the date. So your date will not be stored along with the values you are recording. You have the values, and if the values are 100 inside, it means once you know the end point and the starting point, you can just sequence the date, and then you have your X as your time, your Y as the data you have already. Yeah, but as I said, I won't go into it because we won't use it at this particular time. But next semester, when you treat time series, then please, you can now use your R to do it. So there is date in R, and it's a data type. Is that okay? Yeah, so I'll end there. If you want to sequence, you can sequence date. I'll give you some slides that you have date on, and when you treat your time series and you want to now work in it, it will be easier for you. So let me end there, and then I ask if there's any question. Other than that, I move on to what I want to do today, which is import and export of data. Any question? Shall we move on? Okay, all right. So now let's come to our what we want to do for today, which is importing and exporting of data. Remember that I said for import, we are going to look at 3 cases. A is text file. B is what? From Excel, and in Excel we are going to look at .csv, and also when we have .xlsx file. And then lastly, we will look at how to read data set from what? Websites. So, now I must say that later on in your journey as a statistician or an actuary, you will come across other packages. SAS, maybe Python, maybe some other SPSS and so forth. Now, or Stata and so forth. All those things, I have packages that you can integrate without, such that you'll be able to read from all those things. So for example, maybe I go to a friend from economics department who is using Stata, and the person wants me to help to analyze the data. I may not be proficient in Stata. I as in R. So I want to import the data into R to work on it, and then I give him the result. I don't need to sit down to rewrite everything or retype. Some data set may be thousands, right, of rows. You can't be doing that. So there should be a way to read the data straight away from that package into it. So I'll take a look at some of them. Okay. So how do we do this? Well, look over here. You see import. Okay. So it's that simple. So you see test. What is a test file? It's like if you are using Windows, like when you use Notepad, okay, or WordPad. But usually Notepad is the basic. It stores data, and the data becomes, it doesn't occupy much space, like let's say Word. Why is this so? Because Notepad doesn't take any form of pictures, tables, and so forth. It's just raw text. Okay. So we can read from text. We can also use using this is base. Remember, the base package is default. Once you install RStudio, base package is installed. Once you start RStudio base, so that one you don't need anything. The second one, we will need a package called Reader. Is that okay? So if you are using it for the first time, when you click on it, it will ask you to install. Of course, if you are connected to the internet, this will be done automatically, and then you click and then install for you. And then next time you don't need to do that again. It will go straight and import it. What about the next one? Excel. So that will cater for our second one, but only one of them. Right? Okay. Next is what? SPSS. SPSS is also a statistical package, but it's mainly for the social sciences. It's quite easy. Just drop down. So it's not like what we are doing where you need to program. Of course you can program in SPSS, but it's that easy that you just click drop down menu, select. But because it is like that, it doesn't also give you that flexibility that we have without. When we start to plot or start plotting functions, I'll show you how you can have control over your R environment and so forth. And later on, I'll show you some packages that you can learn on your own and so forth. So you can't get that with Excel or with let's say SPSS. So that's one of the beauty of R, or the advantages of using R, that you have absolute control over whatever you are doing. There's SAS, right? And Stata, as I said. So all those, if they have a data set, you can get them into R. Okay. So now let's come back to R. We don't have any of this. So we are going to create our own Excel file, our own text file, and then we read it. When we finish, we all go online and read some data as well. Is that okay? All right. So let's move on. Now remember, we talked about the anorexia data, right? You remember? Okay. Let's go to package mass. Click on package mass so that we have access to this data. What we are going to do is that we're going to display the anorexia data. We will copy it and paste it in a notepad and save it as a test. That will give us, it's as if we have our own test file, right? Okay. Then we create an Excel file from it. We can open Excel and open the notepad and put this data in Excel. Then we have an Excel file. And then we will save it as CSV. Then we have Excel, CSV file, and then we have all notepad file. We satisfy the two things I have written there. So then we now try to read them into R. Is that okay? So that's the exercise we are doing. Then we'll be left with the last one. So we'll go to the site and Okay, so go to the site and then we all read it. But I'll try and send it to you on WhatsApp so that it will be easy for us to do it now. Okay, so let's see what to do now. So I click over here. If I click it, what does it mean? If I click on this box, what does it mean? It's what? Is I have added it to. Okay, I have loaded the package into my working environment. Okay, so now, so let's look for an eraser. Oh, the spelling is wrong. So there it is. So let's display it. So this is the data, right? Okay. Let's copy. So we display the data, we copy. Okay, so I'm going to do Excel. Of course, Excel, I can't put it in like that. They will all go into one. And then also I want Notepad. So this is a Notepad. I paste, there it is. Now here, you remember what I talked about rectangular? That a data set now, unless it is a list. Now the importation, we are assuming that we are importing only rectangular data sets. Is that okay? So if you look at this, is it rectangular? Why is it not rectangular? Yes. You see the top ones, the first, the second, third, fourth columns are named, but the first one is not named. Is that okay? So it doesn't make it rectangular. Is that okay? If I want to make it rectangular, I must fill in here. In other words, I must provide a name for that numbering. Is that okay? Then it's now rectangular. Alternatively, I can also delete this, and then when I read, I now name it myself. I name the columns myself. So whichever one will be okay for you, you can do it. Is that okay? Is it okay? So let me try and name it. So I'll say number. But remember that as I'm naming it, it is going. So I will come back the number of characters I have moved. Other than that, I'll distort my data. So it's that technical. When you are doing this, you have to be careful. So number, I have moved 2 steps. So I'll press my delete 1, 2. And then it comes back to where it was. So when I read, it will treat as the second column. Anything apart from 2 steps will distort it. So I will rather have maybe 5 columns, whereas the data is what? 4. Is that okay? Is that okay? Please, you have to respond if it is not okay. Okay, so when you paste the data, there's nothing like this, isn't it? It's like this. So I ask, is this rectangular? No, because something is missing in there. So either I add any, or this one is the name of the column. So I name it so that I have all the 4 columns named. Okay. Now I come here and I'm naming it. I want to name it using number, right? NO. So if look at it, as soon as I start typing, the others are moving. Okay, so it means I am distorting the arrangement, because what you are going to read, it will read columns. So if you shift it, it's going to increase the column. So the number of characters I will shift to the right, I must now close the spaces in there, the same number of characters. So I move 2, so I'll do 1, 2, and that's it. Using the delete key, or if you want to use backspace, it must be at the other side. 1, 2, and that's it. No, now I'll name this. So I'll save it and give it a name. So I go and look for the folder you created, okay? So mine is start 240 and it is 2021-2022 first semester. Okay, I'm assuming that I'll store it my anorexia. So this is the name I'm giving it, my anorexia. So yes, I want to replace. So it's named like this. Okay. So if I go to that folder, this is not part of R, eh? It's not at all. If I go to that folder and check, I have anorexia, my anorexia data as what? Test document. Is that okay? Okay. Now, so I'm assuming I have the first one. Now I want the second one, Excel. You don't have one, so we want to create an Excel file. Okay. So we'll use the same thing. So open Excel, a blank document. Okay. And then we are going to open the same file we saved, the notepad, okay, into Excel, because if I come here and I say paste, okay, wait, let me go and copy this one and then I want to paste, what will happen? All of them are in one column. That's not how our data is that okay? So if you copy from R and you paste, it won't work. That's why I'm going through this long way. But as I said, this is no R. It has nothing to do with. It is just helping us to get a file that we can read, and then we know that we can read an Excel file into R. Is that okay? Alright. So let's go on. So we go to open. Okay, and then I'll navigate to the folder I saved out file in. Okay, so my file was start 240. I think I can get it here, quick access. Okay, quick access all files. Okay, there. Okay, so I come here and what happened? Open. I want to go to this PC, quick access. There. So it's my anorexia. That's it. So navigate to where you stored your file and then open it like this. Okay. So you see the data set is over there, right? Okay. And fix, I will delimit it. So I choose delimited. I go to next. Then what is separating this is tab, right? Space. So as soon as I created space, what is happening? Number is one column, treat is another column, pre-weight is another column, post-weight is another column. Is that okay? That's how my data is arranged. So I go to next, and then I click finish, and there. So we have the number, the treatment, the pre-weight, post-weight. Is that okay in Excel? So I can now save this in the same folder, but I am saving it as what? Excel workbook, right? I can give it the same name because the other one is a test. This one is, the extension is what? .xlx, right? xx. Is that okay? Is it okay? Okay, so we have my anorexia. You want me to do what? Go back to where? So open Excel book, go to open and go to your folder. When you go to your folder, you have to select all files, otherwise it is going to select only Excel files. You get what I'm saying? You are opening Excel, so I will recognize only Excel files. But that's what you want to read is not Excel, it's a text. So you go to all files. There. Otherwise, you have to here all files. And how do you install it? No. You have, did you say the test file? Where? Where did you store it? Which folder? So you must go into that. Yeah, now it's there. Then you open. You are lost. Were you able to store them or save it as a test file? Then you shouldn't have a problem. So I said be in Excel, click open, navigate to the folder you stored your my anorexia in. Are you there? Yes. Okay. Now you won't see it because it is a test file. The extension is text. What you are looking for is Excel, but there's no Excel file named my anorexia. So if you look at the folder, you will see all files. Click over there. But you have so you can check on online. Create a folder for the class so that every day who is having problem? You must have a folder and you must save your test file in my anorexia in the folder. Your Excel is nice. So it's another way. What is it? But the UGC, they don't install Microsoft Office. They don't. I think computer science, they do it for you. It's what? Student. Microsoft Office, you need to have to do your assignment. When you go there, they won't do it for you. I know. You went there and you said it. They are national service people. They are not in the no, when you go, I said that you went and they were fooling you. For You wanted a scene to do what? They also do class. So when you go, you must ask. So classes, they do classes, so like now, we could have gone there, right? If I had arranged that we have, and I told you I would arrange that. But I will see. So if we are there, you cannot also come and say that you want to do something. But what I'm saying is that if you go there and say they should install Microsoft Office, they won't. Has anybody gone there like that? You want. Oh yeah, you must practice because okay, so let me see. Okay, so you can try to, you see, if you go to this website, get into prison. Those having problems, you may be able to download Windows. I can't guarantee you. But and don't go ahead and download what we have now. Like we do with your system. So Microsoft Office 365. Now people think that. Go ahead and get like Microsoft Office 365. Did you get it? Yeah, you'll be able to download, install, and go through the correct process so that you have access to Excel, PowerPoint, Word, and so forth to help you. Can we move on? Is everybody okay now? Okay. Okay, so first of all, have you created the text file in your folder? Or if you are stuck over the please let me know. Have you been able to create the text file? Copy from our paste in a notepad and save it. Have you been able to do that? Yes. Who hasn't been able to? If you are writing, write that down. So those writing, what did you write? But please, when you go home, you must practice. Is that okay? You can't sit down and be writing and take the videos and watch and then you practice. Even if it is on your phone. Or you borrow a friend's, you can't come and borrow my laptop because it's the same question. So, and then you can go to UTCS. They don't have to send you out. Always. No, there are several labs that I think lab is more. Okay. The ground floor. The ground floor is where? No, the first floor. I'll find out from there tomorrow. You should just remind me on the platform. Okay? Just remind me on the platform in the morning. I'll forward this one through. But of course, you can learn with your friend as well. Yes, that's my leader. But the main thing is that you should practice. If not, it will be difficult if we give you something to do on your own. That one I can make sure. Okay. Manorizia in our folder? Yes or no? Okay, can we now open Excel? Then in Excel, go to File, Open. Are you following? File, Open. Now navigate to the folder you stored my Manorizia. Are you ready? Why is it allowed to? So open navigate to the folder. You will not see my Manorizia because my Manorizia is the first one. Let me see if I can go back again. This is what I mean. So let me go and okay, so this is what I was talking about. That when you are here, you go to Open, and then I'll navigate to the folder. So like this is what I mean by navigation, right? So okay, so when you come here, you see this place, usually it will be all Excel files. I have stored only one Excel, so if you don't have an Excel file in, it won't show, because the one you have saved is old. It's a test file, TST. So what you have to do is to come here and click on all files. Then everything within the folder will show. And then what do? You select my Manorizia, right? Like that. You double click and this one comes, you click on all, delimited, then you go to next, then there are spaces, so these are tabs. If you were to fill this, you use tabs, so you click on tabs, tabs and then spaces, then the lines come. So the lines is telling you the division. If I had not done this with the when I moved it, then it will distort it. I'll have either 5 or 3 columns. Next, and then I click finish, and then I have this. So that's what we did. Is everybody okay? Yeah. So here you save this one too, right? You save it. And as I was saying, you see here is what? Tab delimited .st, because that is where we read it from. But that's not what we want. We want to save it at all. .xlxx. So save it. I have saved mine already. The next one, I'm going to save it as, okay, so let me, XLS, let's say my Manorizia. I said I can save it the same name because they have different extensions. It's just like having a Word file called my Manorizia and an Excel file called my Manorizia. They will coexist. There wouldn't be any problem because they have what? Different extensions. That's what I mean. There. So if I go to my folder, I have my Manorizia too. One is a test, right? If I click on this, what is it? It's Microsoft Excel worksheet. Is that okay? All right. Now go back to Excel. You remember we have also .csv, right? So we now have XLX. Is that the okay? Is that the Excel? Okay, I'll see if I got it right. So let me go to save as, and it's the other way around. It should be XLXX. So what I wrote was wrong. We should change it. So the L comes before the X. XLXX. Okay. Now, please let's do the comma separated. Have you seen this one? Comma delimited. So CSV. So the same name, but it has a different extension, right? So I can save it as my anorexia. Then I have three different names of the same data, but different extensions. So when I come here, you see, this one is a test. This one is what? Microsoft Excel. And that one, it saves as what? XLXX worksheet. Is that what you got from your own? Is it also like that? Let me see. The comma. Yeah, comma delimited. Okay. Yeah, it's like that. CSV. Okay. Comma separated. So we are good to go. Okay. So now I have all these three data sets. So now I want to go to R, and then our exercise, we can now do our import exercise, right? So what did we say? We said you go to import from test, right? And then you navigate. This one, I'm giving myself so much work. What I have to do is to set my working directory, right? I go to set working directory to the file where my file is, which is where, and look on the console, what will happen? You see, it directs you to my folder straight away, because that is where this test file is. Okay, so when I do that, it's easy for me now to read the data. I don't need to navigate, because I will first look into where the folder where it is located in my data. So from test, you see now I don't need any navigation. It goes straight into my folder. So the first one is test, right? So let's double click on this. It rinses. This will open up. There. So this is what we inputted. It is inputting it as what? As a data frame. Remember I said R stores most of the data sets as what? Data frames. Is that okay? Alright. Okay. Now if we want to name it differently, we can name it, right? Okay. So what do we say? Maybe we will use import to represent it. So IM is in, we have imported what? My anorexia, so that it is different from what we will get in so once we do that, we click import, and there we have it in R. So now what do you see over here? I am my anorexia. It's all 72 observations of what? 4 variables. It's 4 variables because we named the counts, right? Is that okay? Pardon me? I should go over it. You just go to import from test, because the first one we said, test file. So you just click on it, you go to your folder, you look for the test file. What is the name of the test file? My anorexia, right? If I choose this, it won't work because that is not a test file. Is that okay? Is it okay? Yeah. Okay. So I click on that. It comes. If I want to change it, I change it. If I want it to remain the same, it remains the same. And then you click on import, and that will bring it straight away now. So now we have IM import, and that is how we read the test file to R. Is it okay? Is it okay? Can I move on? So let's look at the Excel. This one, you must be connected to the internet if you are using it for the first time, right? Otherwise it won't work. So import, and this is what from Excel, right? Yeah. So similarly, look at code preview. So it needs to the package what read Excel. Okay. So if this is your first time, if you start to import it, to install this automatically. So I have done so before, so I don't. So I go and look for my Excel file, which is this one. So I click on it, it will retrieve and preview the data. So I wait for it to be previewed. That's what I wanted to, right? Is that okay? So then I click on what? Import. And there, you see that one is stored as what? My anorexia. Please, are you there? It is downloading, yeah. So it will download. Once it is finished, it will be able to read it for you. So that's how you do the Excel. Okay. Unfortunately, when you have CSV, it won't read it. You can't read it straight away like this. So there should be another way around. So I'm going to show you a general way that you can use to do this. There are so many ways. Now, look at what is happening here. The first one, it means when we were using the last one we did, it uses what? The function read underscore Excel. That is equivalent to going to import from Excel and then you navigate. Is that okay? Yeah, so if I could have as well have done this, run this code, and what I did by those click will be done at once. So that's how R is. Whatever you are doing, right click, whatever, click, that has a function which will display on the console. Okay. So let's look at this. Let me go back to. So this is a test one, right? The test use what? Read.csv. And see, it went through the entire file path. So similarly, if we have a data set sitting on the internet, we can also copy the file path, give it to her. If we are connected to the internet, it will go straight away and pick it and store it in her. Is that okay? Is that okay? All right. Okay. If you have a data set like here, you see, if you click here, it will tell you copy address, right? If you right click, so if you copy address as test, let me come here, or let me just do it in now. I can paste the address there. So your own, you can paste it and see. But what you need to know is that, look, I uses the / but in the test, if you copy it from your folder, it uses a backslash. So you need to, it's a cumbersome process. So it's easier to go through the import and so forth rather than use the function. But we can use the function to do any of this. One other thing is that if I have already said that I should reside in this folder, then I don't need all that part. I just need the name, because I will first look through that folder. If it sees anything like that with that extension, it will read it into R. So that's what we are going to do with the CSV. But of course, you can use that to do the test and the Excel as well. Is that okay? All right. So let's do this. So general, how should I name it? Readings.csv or any other extension. So if we have CSV or any other extension, we can name our data. In this case, I'll say CSV anorexia. So I read.csv. You can use read.csv or read.table, whichever one is fine. Okay. Now, if you go to read.csv, let me look at the help files for read.csv and explain before we use it. Now, look here. We just need this first two. There are so many things you can do with it, but we need just this first two to be able to work. Sometimes the third one is included, but it's okay for now. So file is the path, right? Or the name. If my R is residing in the folder, I just need the name. I don't need that long file path I copied. Header. If what you are reading has a header, remember what we read. It has a number, treat, pre-weight, what? Post-weight. So that is a header, right? So the header, if it has a header, you say true. If not, you say false. If you say it is true, it will take the first row as a header. If you say it is false, it will read the first row as part of the data set. So please be mindful of it. Okay. So let's do it now. So we'll say file, and file, we want to read the CSV. So I'll copy the name of the CSV, and there is my anorexia. So I just copy my anorexia. I don't want to make any mistake. And then I do .csv. Let me shift it here. So this is the name. Whatever I'm reading, I'm assigning it to what? To the name CSV my anorexia. Then I put a comma. I say header, and header I must select all true, right? Because that data has what? Header. Let's read this. It worked. If you did not set your working directory to your folder, it won't work, because it won't see anything in your, let's say, my document being my anorexia.csv. You have to add the extension. Okay, I can use this. I can read the Excel file. I can read the text file as well, right? With this same thing. So if I come here and I check, I will now see CSV anorexia. You see it's the same. So now we've been able to read all the three from the folder, i.e. test file, CSV, Excel, Access. Is it okay? Of course, I'll make this available if you can. But of course, your laptop is not mine, so you won't get a file path. But create your folder and store your anorexia in that folder, and then make sure you go to what? You go to session, and then you say set working directory. You can choose Okay, and then you navigate to where your folder is, and you do that, and then now R resides in that folder, so you can call a name within that folder and read it into R. So that's what you have to do. Any question on this? So I'm done with the first two. Any question before I move on to the next one, where I have to get you a path, or maybe we should look for some data. I can search Google for another data if I'm not getting this. Let's all search. If we let's say data for t-test, something like that. I want a data set, so let me go here and check. If I find some data there, these guys, they are just worrying me. They want me to pay. I want, okay, let me just go for mine. I want to say, can you type this? You can't see. You say you or we? You and who? Okay, there it is. So let's type quickly. You can't see still. Okay, so I'll find a way to send it to. Let me check it on my phone so that I can send it to you on WhatsApp. GitHub. I'll copy the file and send it to you. Pardon me. You are typing. I'll send it to you as well on WhatsApp so that you can copy and paste. Okay, so in let's say examination, I will give you a data set that you won't know which one I can give some to you on the laptop, or I can show you a site for you to go and copy and work on it. So if you don't know this, you can't proceed. Is that okay? So please make sure you practice. Okay, so I think I can send it to you. Oh, where do I get this? Repositories. This was star 240, right? RM group. Okay. So I'll put this on your WhatsApp page so that you can copy. So there. Okay. So what do I mean by this? So what I have sent you is a sample, of course, a data set I placed on a website, a GitHub website. And then I ask students to pick it up, and then I ask them some questions on it. So so please go there. You will see it like this. Okay. Now, when you go to a site like this, you can read from the site, or if you want, you can just copy and paste it in your test file, and it becomes a test document for you to read. Do you get it? So I can read straight away from the test. Let me see if it will work. So I copy like this, I have done it over here. So so I will say website, let's say web data is this. So read.csv. Okay, the file, I'm going to put that website. Oh, I must go back. The file, this is the path, right? So I copy this and then I paste in here. So it will be a long thing if you come insert http. So this is a website, GitHub, Armincaster 240 blog and so forth. Okay, and then header is true. I must check whether the header is true. So this is a data set that talks about customer, the type of customer, the items, the net sales, the method of payment, the gender, marital status, age, level, holiday sales. So it has what? A header. So the first one is the first customer, 1, regular, and so forth. So let's see whether it works or not. So header should be what? Header should be what? True. Okay, so let's see if this will work. So once you do it, depending on your internet, it works. So he was able to read from the website straight away into R. So you see the web data, 450 observations. There's a problem. It can't be one variable. You have not seen anything. You have not seen anything. Okay. Let me see, because there is separator. Okay, I get it now. So these are some of the problems you will face. You see, R, have you seen proprietary card? Have you seen that? Okay, so these are some of the problems you will face practically. Let's say if you are working and somebody gives you a data set, R do not recognize spaces. Is that okay? So when I was reading, it goes in there, it says proprietary card. It's difficult for R to, everything over there is in quotation marks. So it's not a card as in quotation marks, right? Okay. So I will not be able to read this straight away. Okay, so what I have to do is that if I want to do this, I'll copy and paste it in Notepad. And it looks messy, but you can still read it. Okay, but you see, never married. What again? Proprietary card. Yeah, those ones I will not be able to read it. So if I want to do this, what I will do is that I will replace it, and I can't do this over here. So I won't use this data, but I'm showing you what you can do in order to go around it. If I paste this in Word, I can use Control F. In other words, find and replace. So all the never married, proprietary card, and so forth, what I'm going to do is that I will replace it with proprietary underscore card, so that it becomes what? One string. Do you get what I'm saying? No, okay. So what I'm saying is that I will not be able to read, let's say, never married, because there is that space over here. Do you get it? So if you are reading a data set and it has some of these things, you can't. Do you get it? So the workaround is that I have shown you how to use a text file, how to use Excel and so forth. You can't paste it in Excel, it won't work. So you paste it in text or let's say Word. If I paste it in Word, what I can do, I don't want, because it's not part of R, so I don't want to waste my time over there. But if you are in Word, do I have Word here? Let me see. Okay. So, assuming I have never married here, which is what your data will contain. So what I'll do is that I'll highlight this and I'll do Control F. It comes like this. Then I click over here, I say replace. Right? So replace with what? I will replace each of these with what? Never married. Like this. Do you get it? Yeah, so this will make sure that everything in there with never married will be replaced with just a continuous name. Is that okay? Then the other one, proprietary card, I do the same thing. So this one, I don't need to go in. There were about 500 and something data points. I can't go in and be changing one after the other. But this one, by the click of it, replace all. Everything will be replaced. And so once I do that, I now copy back to test file, and then I can read it. It's a long way. I don't want us to go through it. But these are some of the challenges you can face in real life. You don't need to reinvent the wheel to go and type all that data. Look at it. If you have to type this, 501, how are you going to do this? It will waste your entire time. There's no time for such things. Okay, so that is one way to do this. Let me just go back. I'll send you another one which will be easier to read. I think there's one more which is okay. If there's a site that you have done some data public, so if you go there and you click on, let's say, up to 202. Let me see if I put any. Yeah, so there's data there. I put like 2 years ago. Data. So view raw data. So there's data which is .cs. You are seeing it. Go to Act 202. You must click on the Alminka, not the entire part. I'll put it in what I sent you. You see you have Alminka and Choco. So end at Alminka. Okay, so let me put this one on the folder. On your WhatsApp platform. So I put a new one there. Which is this one. I'll go back. Is this Act 202. And this one, data.csv. Okay, so there it is. Okay, so here I can copy raw content. Okay, when you are here, you can say raw. Okay, yeah. So this one will be easier to read. Okay. Now, this one, as soon as I get here, I realize that the first one is not named. So if I will say header is. If I say header is true, it may not work because there is what? And this is a website. I cannot put you cannot edit it at the website. Are you there? I paste it's on your WhatsApp platform. If you click on it on your phone, you will see this. So I'll try. If it doesn't work, I can copy into my test file and read it straight away. Let's see. It may not work because it's not rectangular. So let me go here. I'll paste it here. Read.csv, header is true. Let's see. It worked. But let me see what happens. Web 503 variables. Let me click on it. There. So I just named it X, even though it did not have any name over there. But if we were reading this from maybe test, it may tell you that line 1 is not of what's that error? I think line 1 is not 4 columns or something of that sort. Have you been able to do it? All you have to do is the second site I sent you. Go there, click on when you go to the site, I think yours will be like this. Okay. When you are there, you click on raw. Is that okay? Raw means just get the test. It's like a test, and then it comes master.csv like that. And then you read. So here you just copy that. You copy the entire path, and then that is your file path in quotation marks, and then header is true because there is what? Header, size and price. Is that okay? Any question on this? So we've seen how we can copy from website. We've seen how we can read from CSV, Excel, text, and then test file. Is that okay? So now you are in a position to work and do your descriptive statistics and so forth. Yes. Is there a question? Yes, I'm listening. How do you the link? Just copy, and here you see read.csv, the file is the path, but it must be in quotation marks. Then the next one is header. Does it have a header? True or false? That's it. And then you run. Once you run it, you get it. So this one, the file is like that. Have you seen data? Like that. And after that comma, header is true, and then you do it. Let me try and see if this one will still work on with the raw data. Okay. I think it still did not work because of that, but let me see. Okay. Okay, still, yeah. Okay. So necessarily the 241, you can take it as an exercise, but as I said, you don't want to work. I see. At this time, you don't want to work. Okay. Never married. Proprietary card. So is everybody okay now? So let me just do some simple graphical, the ones you watch on the videos. I'm not going to waste my time. What do I have now? Okay, so let's look at this. in the imported graphics in R. We have just 3 minutes, so I'll show you just some few graphics. Of course, you have the videos, graphics in R, so you watch. By next week, I will send you my exercises. So, for example, you see, my anorexia has treatments, right? Treatment is what type of data? Or no, in your 111, what is this data type? It's a variable, yes. In your star 111, how will you classify this data? It is what? It's what? No, treatment is a variable. What kind of variable? It's what? We have 2 types of variables. Yes. No, nominal is a scale of measurement. It is all. This is discrete. It's what? Ordinal is not a variable. Hey, only 1 year. Less than 1 year. Yes. It's what? I can't hear you. What is he saying? Speak up. It's what? It's what? Hey. What did you say? It's qualitative. Because the responses are what? Either you are in the control group, CBT, these are groupings. Oh, but there's okay, so you see, once you saw continuous, it's no, this is control. Okay. Yeah, so this is a qualitative variable. So what kind of graphs can you use to display this variable? The content. When you have a qualitative variable. Bar chart, what again? Histogram. What are they? Histogram. Okay, so this is qualitative. So bar chart, pie chart, or maybe dot chart, and so forth. Now, so how do you do this in R? Well, let me just do once you see, if I improve anorexia and I select treat, it will give me all this, right? So these are the results. Control group, CBT, what have you. Okay. Now for me to be able to do or reduce this data so that I have a bar graph, I need a frequency table, right? The frequency table will give me how many groups, how many CBT are in this group, how many control are in this group, and so forth. So to do that, you use what we call the table. So let me say F table is the frequency table. So I'll say table this. Now, so what does this do? This will create a frequency table. Create a frequency table. And what is the frequency table? It's like this. So if I do this and then I call my table, obviously, so control group CBT, how many? 29. Control group, how many? And then the family treatment, 17. Is that okay? All right. So this, I can now, let's say, do a pie chart. So I can do a pie of the table, not the raw data. There. Is that okay? If you watch the table, you'll be able to do this and, create a 3D one, explode it so that CBT gets out. You see this in reports. I'll show you some reports. I'll put a report from statistical table on your WhatsApp platform so that you look at it. Okay. We can also do bar chart. Bar chart, we use bar plot. So please watch the video extensively. You can do all this. Okay. We can color, we can do this, we can provide legends. Okay, you can do component bar graphs, stack group, and so forth. So this is how you're going to do the message. Now I've created videos or I've done videos that you watch on YouTube. Download it, watch it, and go through it. And practice it. So I think that should be enough for tonight. If you have any question, please, you can ask. Okay, so if you are facing problems, you can also record an audio, put it on the platform. I'll check and respond to it. Okay, you can take a screenshot if you are working and you are in trouble. You can take a screenshot, put it on the platform. I'll look at it and comment on it. And others will also learn from it as well. So please don't put any other thing apart from this class, okay? Don't put what do you call it? Emojis and memes and other stuff. Please, because I have to be checking. If there's a message, I go and check, and then when you go, it's something that I get annoyed and I delete you. Or I remove you from the platform. That one, when you send me a message, I will pretend that I'm not seen, even though I've read. So please, let's all practice, watch the videos, and then next week I'll give you some work to do, and then we move on. Please practice. Practice it. Have a good night.